let me show you a super cool way that you can support this channel. Now, check it out. Official merch, music, guitars, truth, Bad Brad in small letters, silhouetted guitarist, tons of detail. Very cool shirt. There's the full head of hair. There's the cool Converse All-Stars, music, guitars, and truth. You can get one for yourself. Just check out below the description of this video. I'll put a product linked on this video, and you can help the channel out and get yourself a cool t-shirt. Thank you. Don't listen to the knuckleheads. Now, over my life, I've had a lot of different knuckleheads in my life, or knuckleheaded opinions. We've often dealt with naysayers. We've often done with negative ninnies of life. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, if you young guys out there that are getting in the music business or anything in life, whether it's you're going to set goals for yourself. You're going to want to achieve great things in life or do things. And there's always going to be somebody who's going to tell you, oh, you can't do that, or just give you flat out bad advice. Well, I'm here today to tell you, just tune them out, man. All right. Now, let me give you some examples. And I've talked about this before on my channel, but I brought it up the other day on a live. And I was really impacted by how people felt about this. Imagine somebody doing this. My first guitar teacher. I literally took like 2 lessons. It was sort of a Mel Bay book, read the single notes type guitar teacher. And he drove over in like a little red, like a Triumph or Fiat or some kind of car like that, convertible red thing. And he had this, full beard, and, he had hair kind of similar to mine. And I believe at the time he was working for Colonial Williamsburg, and he may have been a musician that was working there. I don't remember how we found this guy, but I lived in a small town, and there wasn't a whole lot of choices for guitar teachers over the years. I did work with some great ones, but this was my first teacher, and I remember getting that book. He said, okay, go out and buy this book. So we bought this book, and I remember opening it up and seeing, Jingle Bells or whatever. And I remember him coming over to the lesson and, trying to teach me how to read music. And I remember the first piece was Jingle Bells. So he came back the next week, and, he had kind of said, okay, this is this note, this is that note, and here's the diagram and all this kind of stuff. So while I had time that week to work on the piece, I see Jingle Bells, and I figure out what the first note is written on the staff. And then I just proceed to learn the song. I just proceed to play Jingle Bells in single notes. It's an easy, simple melody. So when he comes over for the second lesson, he opens a book and says, okay, play this. And it's Jingle Bells, and I proceed to play it. And, he didn't really get any comments from him, but obviously, I probably wasn't looking at the page when I played Jingle Bells. I didn't need to look at the page. It's friggin' Jingle Bells. But, I finished the lesson, and I think it was the next night. The phone rings, and my mom answers the phone, and I hear him talking, and, oh, okay, all right, well, thank you. And she comes over, and it's kind of like this, still silent moment where she goes, that was your guitar teacher, and he just said that you'll never be able to play guitar. What do you want to do? And I just said, and I'm a little kid. I mean, dude, I had to have been like, I don't know, 8 years old or 9 years old or something like that. And I was it was like the first time my brain just went, "Boo." And I said, well, I guess we need to find a different teacher. And my mom goes, yeah, you know what? Let's get another teacher. To heck with that guy. And I'm like, yeah, let's find somebody else. And long story short, we found somebody else that sent me on a different learning path. And I was immediately playing songs. Within a few hours, I was able to figure out with the method of learning chords and playing songs. I was immediately able to realize what a chord diagram was, put my fingers where the diagram said, and play along to the Beatles or Elton John or any of that stuff, that 70s stuff that you would start out learning on guitar. And so, first lesson, don't listen to the knuckleheads, this little Triumph driving, red sports car bearded douche. We didn't listen to him. And you know what? It's a good thing we didn't listen to him, because here I am today. But I just did a podcast, yesterday for Appetite for Distortion. It's a great Guns N' Roses centric podcast. And the guy just right out of the gate said, man, you've got a great voice for radio. And he goes, and I'm a guy who does radio. That's what I do. And you have a great voice for this, a great speaking voice. And I'm just kind of shocked at how good you are at this. And I was blown away. I've been blown away by this whole, this channel sort of, slowly but surely blowing up. And I guess, look, man, I don't have a script. I haven't hit edit once on this video. If I hit edit, it might be a slight pause, and maybe I want to put a little effect in, or a sort of a transition, just to create a little bit of movement. But man, I just push record and I talk. And so this made me think, when I'm hearing this, and I've heard it from a lot of people on my channel, you should do audiobooks, you should do narration. Do you ever do voiceovers? I'm like, I would love absolutely to do that. So let's throw that out into the universe. If you want me to do a voiceover, I will do a voiceover for you. I will make it dramatic. I will make it awesome. And I will get it done very quickly and efficiently. But this takes me back to Hollywood. And when I first got out to Hollywood, and I was working a job, and my first job in phone sales. Now, phone sales, talk about something where you need a good voice. You need to be able to deliver a pitch. This was like office supplies and pens and paper and stuff like that. And so we would be cold calling these numbers. They would give us phone books. They would give us these lists. They would give us these phone number lists. And here's the list. Here's the pitch. Go. And I remember there was this old guy that was running the whole thing. And, like it is in any sales, you get hot and cold. It's like that on YouTube. You go hot and you go cold, and you go hot again and you go cold. It's just a normal ebb and flow of sales. But when you you start having, less and less sales, you start to question yourself. You start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? And, is it me? Is it this terrible pitch? And in this case, there were people that did well, in this position, but they had their client list that they would call all the time. They had experience. They were much older. I was just a kid, reading a pitch. I'm just kind of learning what sales is. I don't really know what's going on. So I hit a point where I was no longer getting my $250 a week, and I was having to work completely on commission, and I was struggling, man. I was struggling to sell any pens or any paper or any toner or whatever it was we were selling at the time. And so I was ready to move on. And the boss, was this old guy with fluffy white hair and kind of a craggy voice. Let me tell you something, kid. So I go in the office, and he sits there. He goes, read me the pitch, kid. So I read the pitch. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. You need to go see a professional. You got a speech impediment. That's why you're not selling. And I'm like, really? I've got a speech impediment? That's why I'm not selling? That's interesting. Okay, all right. Well, I think I'm out of here. And I walk out. And so maybe that had been stuck in my head all of these years. Maybe that's why I didn't start my talking segment on YouTube sooner, because maybe in the back of my mind, I listened to that old knucklehead that ran that phone room in Hollywood, right off of Hollywood Boulevard. But you don't listen to the knuckleheads. It's just another example. Okay. And over the course of my life, when I was a little kid, I would be going to the dentist, and they'd say, what are you going to do for a career, Brad? What do you want to do? And I'd say, I want to be a musician. Oh, you can't do that. Okay. And so I'd go to the doctor, and I'd be, getting a checkout. Oh, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a musician. Oh, you can't do that. And, and when I was leaving LA, I left LA because, the Sunset Strip scene and all that was dying out. It made me question, what I was doing there, and would I be able to make it in the music business, and should I go to Nashville, and should I do something different? But I remember our old band manager coming to the house and saying, well, man, he says, you never wrote me any bad checks. You don't owe me any money. You're free to go. I'm like, okay, and this is like a mob, Italian guy kind of talking to you, say, oh, hey, well, let me tell you something, but let me tell you something. And he proceeds to tell me, he goes, that rap thing, and look, we have been trying to find a different angle to our music on the Sunset Strip. So whether you like it or not, I had a feeling that rap was going to become a huge thing. I just knew it. And I like to listen to it on occasion. I like all kinds of music. And so I had been incorporating that into the Sunset Strip music that we were using. Every now and then I would do a rap, or, we were just trying different things, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And so he gives me this rap thing. It's just, that's not going to work. The rap rock thing, that'll never work. Well, I may have listened to him, and I may have not. I did leave LA, and now I think about it, I'm like, I could have been in Limp Bizkit. I could have been the guitar player in Limp Bizkit. But I left LA. But the weird and crazy thing is, I went to LA, and I didn't do any rap rock. I didn't have any plans to rap anymore. I just wanted to play my guitar, and whether that meant playing in a bar or playing a wedding or playing with some, wannabe artist or upcoming artist or going out on the road, I just wanted to play guitar. But one day I got a fateful call. I got the call to go work on a redneck rap project. And wouldn't you know it, that is the one project that I did where I got flown back out to LA and signed a record deal. That rap rock thing is, it's just not going to work there. But you don't owe me anything. You're free to go. Don't listen to the knuckleheads in life. And I love that guy. I don't know if he's still around. I loved him, But man, don't listen to the knuckleheads. You're going to have people, you're going to have naysayers, you're going to have trolls, you're going to have all kinds of people telling you that you'll never make it and don't do this and you don't have what it takes and all that. Man, the best advice that I can give you is just turn those suckers off and tune them out, baby.